Om Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina He Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniam Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Tam Sachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam. My namaskars to you all who are listening to this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are commencing chapter number 70 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the last class we had completed our deliberations and discussions on chapter number 16, which was dedicated to the elaboration on the different characteristics, divine and demoniacal characteristics, people who are endowed with such characteristics. So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya points out, as Bhagavan Sri Krishna has concluded in the last chapter, he had used this idea that the people who act simply driven by their passions, disregarding Utsujya Shastra Vidhi, the instructions, the precept of the scriptures, of the canons. So, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said the people who work like that, they do not attain to any kind of fulfillment, success, or greatness, or perfection. Nasa siddhim avapnoti. Not only that, they do not attain any happiness. And also, they do not go to any higher ways. That you depart, then you have to go. When you leave this body, your soul has to take a path. That path would be towards the higher spheres, or it could be to the lower ones. According to the way you live your body, the way you have lived your life, so that will be very impactful. The way you live your life will impact what would be the mental state while you would be living the body. And that would be deciding factor what kind of ways you would take. whether they would be higher, Param Gati, or it would be Adhamam Gati, the lower ways, the lower destination. So, taking now this phrase, your Shastra Vidhin Usrucha, so Bhagavan is talking about the people who are simply engaged into actions which are driven by their own desires and passions, disregarding the precepts of the scriptures. So here, definitely it comes, one can understand or it implies that you want to work for your desires, you want to fulfill your desires, there would be ways which would be given into the scriptures, into the holy books, the words of the wise, of the experienced ones. So those kinds of words and instructions, they are adopted by the society in general, because going by that way, people attain fulfillment, they attain happiness, and they goes by the higher ways. Around the thing, they go to higher destinations. Not following that, it would have the adverse effect. So now Arjuna raises question, which is Shankaracharya points out that Arjuna taking up that phrase and what crops up in the mind of Arjuna. So Arjuna had raised this question that Ye Shastra Vidhin Utsrujya, the people who, disregarding the precepts of scriptures, Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha, who are worshipping with endowed with Shraddha. Their Shraddha is there. But they are not following any, or they are not aware of any precepts of scriptures. Yes, Shastra Vidhi Muslim. So these people are, Shankaracharya points out here, so definitely these people are not the people who are these people are endowed with. So these are the common people who are not aware of this so many instructions, so many precepts of the scriptures. So who not finding any injunction which can be characterized as enjoined by the Vedas or enjoined by the Smritis, worship gods and others by merely observing the conduct of their elders. This is what he points out. Learn from the elders, Vruddha. But on the other hand, those who, though are aware of some scriptural injunction, discard them and worship the gods and others in ways contrary to injunctions are not meant here. This is Shankaracharya also. This is the difference. He says, these Arjuna with good intention, he has raised this question, so it cannot be included those people who knowingly discard or work contrary to the injunctions of the scriptures. Rather, here are the people meant who are simple people who may not be knowing what are the Shruti or Smruti Vidhana, and just following their own culture and traditions in a family or following the elders as they have come to understand and believing in them with simple heartedness, with their devotion, they are practicing that. So these people are under question. So what now Bhagavan Krishna's reply is for the ordinary people. They are not the known offenders. So purposefully working counter culture. They are not acting in a knowingly. against the set or prescribed instructions or precepts of the scriptures. So those are not the people here under question. So this is for the ordinary people. And Shankaracharya points out why? Because of the qualifying phrase being endued with faith. For it cannot be imagined that even when they are aware of some scriptural injunction about worship of gods and others, they discard this out of their faithlessness. Yet they engage in the worship of gods and others enjoined by those scriptures by becoming imbued with faith. Therefore, by those who endued with faith and or by ignoring the injunctions of the scriptures are here meant those very ones mentioned earlier, meaning that the simple people who are not discarding the scriptural injunctions, mainly, they are not the people. So therefore, Bhagavan Krishna decides to answer it in the following ways. And this is what he says to Arjuna. So this is now the second verse. Trivida bhavati shraddha dehinam sa svabhavaya satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi chetikam shrunu. So what is being said here? This chapter now, the Shraddha is something a very wonderful aspect. Swami Vivekanandaji had given a great stress on this Shraddha. And the way Swamiji had put forth this one idea of Shraddha, that is something very wonderful. That many times we do not try to get the full integration of the idea. And always he was very fond of this Kathopanishad and the story of Nachiketa. There that word Shraddha comes. So when Nachiketa's father had in the anger and annoyance about this toddler son, Nachiketa, who is like 8-9 years old, and he said to him that I will give you away to the death. And here the Upanishad says that while Nachiketa was now endowed with Shraddha. So what does Nachiketa do? He takes the word very literally, because his father says, and with full respect to the words of his father, he goes ahead to fulfill the words of his father. He decides to go to the Lord of Death, Yama. Here he decides to go and meet Yama. He doesn't take it as punishment. He is not a disheartened person. He is not dejected that his father has said. He is not the person who has lost hope. He has taken it as an opportunity, taken it as a challenge, and took it in a completely higher spirit. So, this Shraddha is something, it is not just your emotions. It is a faith, it is conviction, it is belief in the idea and ready to sacrifice anything. Swamiji has stressed this idea so much that the people, a country or a race, when they lose this Shraddha, Atma Shraddha, the belief in themselves, the faith in themselves, this is not arrogance, this is not empty pride in yourself or your idea or whatever is associated with it. It is not that. It is that seeing the truth in itself and ready to taste it, ready to take it to the extreme. To taste it on any criteria, that is Shraddha. person who is endowed with Shraddha, they can do tremendous work. The people who have lost this Shraddha, they are lost. Nobody can stop their degradation. Therefore, this belief in oneself, Shraddha, is so important. That you know what you stand for. You know what the idea is. That it is not just the noise. You know the substance of it, the soul of it, the truth of it, and you are ready to stand by it. That is Shraddha. The Shraddha is the very soul of the manliness of the human. If a person has to attain to any greatness, he cannot be deprived of this Shraddha. Sri Ramakrishna also said, and here also Bhagavan Sri Krishna would say the same thing. Those same words would be repeated. Here in the third verse, the Shraddha, Bhagavan says here, now, Vividha Bhavati Shraddha, that Dehinam means all embodied beings, all beings for that matter. Their Shraddha is of threefold, Trividha Bhavati. Sa Swabhavaja, born out of their nature. Swabhavaja. If Ja prefix is attached, it means born out of. Born out of what is? Swabhava. Swabhavaja. Swabhava again is the word Swabhava. Your own nature, bhava. The state, existence of your reality. That is that your state, your own state, that is Swabhava. What you are truly, that is your Swabhava, which is born out of that Swabhava. That Shraddha is of three kinds, he says, of all embodied beings. They are. So nobody is excused from this. It applies to all embodied beings. So therefore, and how is that? How is those three kinds? So coming from their swabhava, from their own nature, that is Satviki, Rajasi, Chaiva, Tamasi, Cha iti, Amushka. He says it is of the three kinds. Those three kinds being Satviki, which is born out of Satvika nature. Rajasi, which is born out of Rajasi nature. Rajasika nature. Tamasi, which is born out of Tamasika nature. From these three kinds of people who has this more dominant, or generally this is what their character, Satvika, Rajasika or Tamasika. From there, their Shraddha will also be of three kinds. Bhagavan, this is answering to Arjuna's questions, that if people endowed with Shraddha and if they disregarding, not knowing the injunctions of the scripture, if they are worshipping you, if they are worshipping Yajate, they are worshipping, then what would be their Shraddha called? So, their nishtha, tesham nishtha, tuka pushno, sattva maho, rajastama. So this was his question. So whether it would be called, their nishtha would be called as sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. So Bhagavan says here that people endowed with this predominant nature, their Shraddha would be of three kinds. So Shraddha itself, not knowingly their nishtha, just along with the Shraddha, they are doing this yajate or different acts of worships. So they themselves cannot be termed as sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. So their Shraddha would be three kinds. Sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, differently their nishtha would be of three kinds. As would be their Shraddha. This Shraddha is explaining in the next verse onward. Now, Bhagavan again he is reiterating that Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata. Shraddhamayo ayam purusho. Yo yashraddha eva sa. Sattva here, sattva means your antakarana, your mind, your heart. So according to your sattva anurupa, sattva anurupa, sarvasya, it is always so. Of all beings, sarvasya, shraddha bhavati bharata, their shraddha is according to their sattva. Sattva anurupa shraddha bhavati bharata, sarvasya, always, of all beings. So what is the sattva, the inner core of that entity? Accordingly, it would be its shraddha. So sattvika person can have sattvika shraddha. Rajasic person can have rajasic shraddha. He will not be able to have withhold in general sattvika shraddha or tamasika shraddha because it flows from its nature. So what is that like? He is going to explain. So here he further says, Shraddhamaya ayam purusha. So the person is what his Shraddha is. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, yes, as is one's faith, so is one's gain. Taman bhav, taman lav. What has said, you Shraddhamaya ayam purusha. Person is verily is what his Shraddha is, and what his Shraddha is, so is the person. So your Shraddha comes from your nature, and your Shraddha really defines who you are, and who you are is really going to define and reflect as what your Shraddha is going to be. So your Shraddha comes from your innermost realization, your innermost reality. You might feign it, you might pretend it, you might mimic it, you might show it off, but real nature, what is, that will not change. Real nature here does not mean in the absolute sense that is your ultimate nature. Real nature means it is from what we pretend or what we like to be called or seen and regarded as by the world. It is different from that who I am truly, with my strengths, weaknesses, which I might hide from others and project and show off before them in a totally different way. That is not truly who I am even today. Even today I am a different person, I might be showing off to the world. That is not who I am truly. That is the meaning. So, the Shraddha therefore is very much rooted into the real nature, into the reality of that individual. Now, Bhagavan now explains one by one what is Tamasika Shraddha like. He says in the next verse, here he is explaining all three kinds of Shraddha, not only Tamasika. He says, Yajante Satvika Devan Yakshakshansi Rajasa Pretan Bhuta Ganashchanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha. Yajante Satvika Devan. So people who are of the Satvika temperament, so their Shraddha is also going to be accordingly. And these people, out of that Satvika Shraddha, earlier in the 14th chapter, we have discussed Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. And what is the influence of these gunas and how there are also constraints due to the predominance of a particular guna, whether it is Satvika or Rajasic or all. So those people, made up of those qualities, gunas, qualities, these people, everything of theirs is therefore get colored or qualified by those qualities. And these people, therefore, their choices, their responses, their attitude, outlook, everything is therefore drenched into that color, drenched in that color. They are qualified, they are characterized by those qualities. Here, Satvika person. This person, how is the Sattva? Sattva is of the characteristics. It likes higher things. It likes knowledge. It likes light. Light in the both sense. So lightness as opposed to heaviness is the characteristic of Sattva. Sattva shows the balance of Rajasa and Tamasa. Sattva shows the alertness. Sattva shows the awareness. Sattva shows the focus, comprehension, understanding, insight. This is what Sattva shows. Sattva is fond of Sukha, where it can very easily settle. It doesn't like too much action. It is neither like Tamasa, which is like a stone itself. It is not Tamasa. So Sattva, in its predominance, the person who has such nature, out of and Shraddha born out of such Sattvika person, the Sattvika Shraddha reflects itself as worshipping the Devas. Because they will be propitiated only by mantras, only by praises. So this is the Sattvika way. Okay, this is the Sattvika way. So his choices are like that, which are indulging into higher sphere. So they would be happy, Devatas would be happy, and they would make him happy. That he wants knowledge, he wants probably meditation, he wants probably insight, different vidyas or powers, which is coming out of that, which are Sattvika in nature. Which would be Sattvika in nature. They do not have this Rajasika or Tamasika element. Yajante Sattvika Deva. And then he says, Yaksha Rakshansi Rajasa. Now Yajanta has to be taken common. So Rajasa, the person, people endowed with this Rajasika Shraddha. Because their nature is Rajasika. Shraddhamaya ayam purusha. Yo yashraddha sa eva saha. So as he is Shraddha, that is the person. So Shraddha is Swabhavaja. Is born out of his nature. So here Rajasika person, he rather chooses Yaksha and Rakshasa. Because these people are also like them. Aggravated. He would rather be, instead of trying to please Devata, he would rather try to please Rakshasa. They would be rather more fulfilling, conducive to his temperament, and they would be rather, more akin to grant him kind of his wishes, or they would be able to give him something he wants, which he probably is going to Devatas may not get fulfilled. They might reject him because he is not the right person, and therefore he is going to Yaksha and Rakshasa. And probably some of the demands may be a little bit unscrupulous, they will fulfill. I want to kill my enemy, so give me this kind of special, this one. So that would not be a fair game, you would not be fighting a fair fight. But yes, that's why I have come. Yes. Very nice. You can take that. So probably Sattvika Devata, they would not agree to no, that would be unjust. You are asking an unjust favor, so that cannot be granted. So that's why this fellow is going to. So person who want to do this, some kind of corruption. He also approaches that kind of corruption, who would hide, who would not raise objection, and he would get something and pass his fight. So this fellow also, he goes to Rakshasas. Why doesn't he worship Devatas? Doesn't suit him. Not as per his temperament. He is going with the passion, anger, lust, greed. He's going there. He's endowed with Rajasa. He's humiliated. He's very angry. You want to, even though it is irrational, not logical, and you want to inflict pain on others, though the reason is not that there is not sufficient reason. Okay. So Devatas may not grant that. So, okay. And what is Devata demands? Devata demands is that you worship him. You call him Lord. Okay. Rakshasas is also calling him. But their desires are different. If they are to be pleased, so these people can please them. Sattvic person will not be able to please them. They might want, yes, I will do you favor. You will have to do me favor, etc. etc. So Devatas are not asking that kind of thing, that you do yajna, you offer me oblations, etc. You chant mantra, you praise me. That's I become powerful. That is good enough. You do not have to do more than that. Rakshasas might not be happy with that. This is difference. Why these different people are acting different ways. Then there is a third category, it says Pretan Bhuta Ganan Chamante. So there are like different categories that this Yaksha and Rakshasa, they like Preta. That is one category, that is disembodied beings. Preta. How does Maharaj translate it? Ghosts. Bhuta, ghosts of spirit. Bhuta Ganan. So there are other disembodied beings who are not having this physical body, who are not living, and are of the lower orders. And this tamasika people, it suits to their mindset. So these are totally irrational beings. And these people, just out of their fun, there is no reason why you should go and make suffer other people. They do not have anything, even like a Rajasika person, they do not have any desire to gain anything for themselves. These are the Tamasic people. Their whole pleasure is to give pain to others. And these kinds of fools, even Rakshasas will not come to their agreement. So these are the people like this Preta and Bhutagana, they will be pleased. Yes, you do that. Okay. And they will see the fun. Make others suffer. So this is the third category of people, Tamasika people. Pretan Bhutaganascha Anye they are the Anye Tamasa Janaha. So they yajante this Pretan Bhutagana. They worship this kind of people. They try to propitiate this kind of people. So these people, according to their own Shraddha, they choose their different path, how to approach their life, their objectives, etc. etc. So this is Bhagavan Krishna's reply. And Bhagavan Krishna now here, thus in the context of abandonment of spiritual injunctions, the states of sattva, etc., have been determined to their effects. As regards that, it is only 1 in 1,000 who, being established in sattva, becomes devoted to the adoration of gods. But to be sure, creatures are mostly rooted deeply in rajas or tamas. So, Shankaracharya points out here that the person who is endowed or established in sattva is hardly anyone will become and go worship the gods, that is the smaller gods, not the divine itself. Because he is unaware of the scriptural injunctions. But what is the general condition? These people, Tamasika people, how do they do? What do they do? This is what is being discussed in the next verses. Ashastra vitam ghoram tapyante ye tapo jana dambhahankara sanyukta kamaraga balamika karshayanta sharirastham utagramam acetasa mam chaivanta sharirastham avidya suranichaya. So here the verse says how people, these people, ashastra vedam ghora tapyante ye tapo janaha. These people, ye janaha, those persons who given to the ostentation and pride. Ostentation and pride is dambha, that is showing off. This ahankara, that is pride, sayuta, possessed of passion, attachment, and strength, kamaraga balanvitaha, strengthened by their passion and attachment, attraction. They undertake severe austerities, not sanctioned in the scriptures. Or Shastra Veda, scriptures has not taught them. They are not prescribed. Ghoram, like they do these severe austerities. Ghoram tapyante. Ye tapojana, the people who do these kinds of tapas, ashastra vedam tapas. These kinds of austerity will do. Who? These tamasic people. Do not knowing scriptures, what do? Simply driven by their passions, their obsessions, raga, their attachment, and completely convinced by that. That's why balanvita. And they have these kinds of desires of dambha, to show off someone. Ahankara, pride, that I will do that. I will kill you, I will ruin you, I will destroy you. They are driven by these kinds of ideas. And they want to do a lot of hard work. So these people are not some people living in fantasy. We will see people are there, these are the people also living midst of each other, surrounding each other. They are ready to do any hard work because they have this kind of desires. Then I will teach you lesson. You set me like this, I will earn more money and I will spend more than you. You have taken one car, I will take bigger car than yours. And he will do hard work for that. Extra job he will do. Lot of savings, he will not spend a single rupee. He will remain hungry. But he will save money because he wants to take bigger car and park it in front of his house so that to make his neighbor jealous. Ashastra Vikam. That is not the righteous way. Who has said that? That is not the way to live. No wise person. There is no Shrutis or Smritis. Not only Shrutis, not only Vedas, but also Smritis like Ityasa, Purana. That is not the teaching of it. They do not teach you. Then they are rather teaching a different thing, but you are disregarding that, not to be driven by your passions and attachment and this obsession. You are doing this both above. This is what people do. This is answer to the Arjuna's question. Ye Shastra Veda scripture yajante shraddhaya vita tesham nishtha Krishna sarvo maho rajastama. So Krishna is saying this is what happens. So if there is no scriptural injunction, the people, if they do not follow the scriptures, if they are not attached by this wisdom of the scriptures from the wise ones, which is established, then what will happen? You will not have this knowledge, you will not have this discrimination how to approach life, how to live a life such a way it will make you not only happy, it will make you successful, and it will also show you the path to greatness. Siddhim avapnoti na sukham na paramgati. If you follow the scriptures, then you will become siddhim. You will get siddhi, perfection, fulfillment, happiness, and also you evolve to cause your growth. You will become a greater person yourself. That is something a life should be lived. That is how one should live our life. That is how one should decide, make our decisions. That is what we should make the criteria of living our life. Criteria of deciding how we should decide, how we should choose, how we should draw our boundaries, how much something we should do, how much you should eat, or how much you should go and work for money. To what length you must sacrifice, to what length you must assert yourself, to what length you should compromise, or to what length you should go to war. How you are going to decide what should be your dharma, what is your duty, which will take you further to this emancipation, liberation. So, moksha is not something that when you will have nirvikalpa samadhi after 1 million births and then you will have moksha. Moksha is here only. This is the. So you can get liberated here in this state. Your moksha will be when you would have struck the correct balance. According to your own nature, your strength, your weaknesses, your limitations, your resources, and you are in the situation, that particular set of circumstances of times, place, and cause, you take a decision that would be your swadharma. Fulfilling your swadharma will liberate you, will strengthen you, it will attend to you that even if you are sacrificing, that happiness will be. That I have done the right thing. I have not swerved away from what was righteous for me. I fulfilled my dharma. This you will know. This is going to liberate you. Whenever you miss this step, you do not fulfill your dharma, then always how much ever you might pretend before the world, you tell to the world how justified my actions are. What could I do? That was the only right thing I could do. That was what I should have done. But in your heart of heart, you know something is amiss. That integrity will never be attained. Your mind would be doing itself. You know that you have done something. Even if you do probably charitable thing, some person come, he pleads to you, कि भाई कुछ मदद कर दो, बाबा कुछ मदद कर दो, and you foolishly help that person, you have given him, and you know in your heart of heart, I have been an idiot, this will cheated me. And again that kind of act, it will not give you fulfillment and happiness. Because you missed it. He simply took you for the ride, you simply gave the importance to your emotion, you could not control the scenario, you did not have any control over yourself, your judgment was clouded. You could not decide your swadharma. You could not, there would have definitely better way, some person should have talked. Means when you see the example, then you learn, oh, this is how I should have behaved. I should have talked to him politely, I should have inquired, I should have known whether his pleas are genuine, whether his requirements are genuine, and how much I should have behaved, how I should have behaved. When you see such example in the life of some another better person, in a better scenario, then you get a sense, this is how I should have behaved. That would have been the right approach. So there would have been various scenarios. Whether you are too soft or you are too aggressive, and somehow your dharma lies in none of these extremes, and it lies somewhere in the golden mead of it. And that dharma liberates you, that frees you, that then you do not feel that you are carrying burden of your heart on your chest. So this is what happens if person he doesn't get this clarity about what is how a human being should live. What the Shastra says. They could be written from the books, or they could be heard from the wise ones. Not always necessarily from the sadhus or sannyasis. There could be also genuinely good people in the society, your elders. They might very well tell you which they might have heard or got or learned. There could be your friends. And you know definitely that this is the truth. And it does not require any more proof or evidence. So this is what happens. Then these people, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is another verse. He adds that what does these people do who do not follow the Shastra? Shastra is that which saves you by discipline. Shasana trayate. When it governs you, if you are governed by Shastras, it will save you. That is called a Shastra. Shasana trayate, that is Shastra. If you are governed by Shastras, that means that if your conduct, if your behavior, if it is according to its governance in the stipulated manner, then your soul will be saved. You will be freed. That would be the individual. If you follow the law, there is no punishment. If you do not follow, then there would be punishment. Kind of thing. So, what does these people do? They say, so like they are doing severe austerities, ghoram tapa. Ghoram tapyante ye tapojana. Tapa tapyante. This ghora tapa, they do. Tapyante, they do this tapas. Tapa means austerities. Or like they are burning out themselves. They are undergoing a lot of pain, suffering, knowingly, choosingly, that is their choice. For this various purpose. How do they do? He is saying, Karshayantaha sharirastham bhuta gramam achetasaha mam chaivantaha sharirastham avidya suranishaya. So Bhagavan says, and being non-discriminating, achetasaha. This word is translated as these people are achetasaha, as if they are unconscious. Chetasa, which is alive. These people are dead to discrimination. Achetasa. And therefore, because a person who is living is supposed to be discriminating, he is able to differentiate. That is what Chetana means. That is what Chetana means. It can respond to stimuli according to its nature. That is the person who is discriminating. These people are dead to it. Non-discriminating. Achetasa. Torture all the organs in the body. Here, this is the translation of the word Bhuta Gramam. Bhuta Gramam. So, here, all organs in the body are Grama means all the collection of it. Okay. So, or is if this word is generally taken as this, that Bhuta Grama means all the organs in the body. Everything which makes you. Or rather, we can take it in another way that all bhutas, bhuta grama, host of all the categories of the living beings. But here, because Bhagavan has used the word Mam Cha Eva Anta Sharirastham, therefore, Bhutagramam has to be taken in this sense only, that all the organs, everything which constitute your body, as also even me, Mamcha, to me also, what they are doing? Karshayantaha. They are, they torture not only all the organs, but to me also, who is residing within the body, who reside in the body, know them as possessed of demoniacal conviction. Tan vidhi, tan, to such people, vidhi, no. Asura nishchaya. That these people, asura nishchaya. So these people have this demoniacal conviction. Tamasic conviction. That is not the divine one. So these are these kind of people, they are so sattvic people and tamasic people. Both have their conviction. Rajas is characterized by confusion. Tamasa is also have conviction, but in totally different direction. So that is the meaning of the word asura nishchaya. Asura nishchaya. So this person is also fully convinced, heart and soul into it, into his decision, into whatsoever wrong thing is doing, but in the wrong direction. Viparita buddhi, these people have. They will, even by mistake, they will not do a good deed. That is what tamas is called. That is what tamas is called. So tamas is a very dangerous thing. So we must save ourselves. That's why here in our culture, sattva is praised very much. Sattva is insisted very much. But mostly people, as Swami points out from this lecture from Puramura, so all our sattvika, rajasikta, this all our wisdom of gunatraya, of these qualities have entered and limited into our kitchen and dining hall. He says, the kitchen has become our temple and those utensils have become our gods. Don't touch and don't touch. This has become our religion. All of your knowledge of sattva, rajas, tamas is about eating only. And when you have somehow figured out, Indian people, that probably eating sattvika food makes you sattvika. It does not. Bhagavan has said the kind of people who have the nature, accordingly they make their choices of the actions, of their how they worship, how they act, so also of the food. So sattvika person who is of the sattvika nature, who has endowed with sattvika, sattva, he will choose sattvika food. This sattvika food will not go good with the rajasika person. He will feel hungry. ये क्या खाना है ना? Or similarly, tamasic person, you will not be able to taste. ये राजसिक खाना कोई sufficient नहीं है ना? इसको और बासी होने दो, सड़ दो, बाद में खाएं. So they will not be able to savor it. Rajasic person, it would be like, है ना? माता जी के हाथ का जैसा खाना रहता था, उसमें नमक कम, मिर्च मसाला कम, कैसे उसको अच्छा है? So these ideas of gunas, it is about everything, and especially these are to be contemplated with respect to the mind, or the cultivation of the mind. And people, when they are on their advanced stage on the path of yoga, they are practicing seriously. In that case, if there are food which is contaminated by other qualities, it can really affect the individual. Unless person is that intensely involved or practicing, and provided his mind is not that delicate, it will not affect that person. For ordinary person, it hardly matters. It is just your sattva rajas tamas is about your tongue and fingers. What suits to your stomach. If you cannot take, suppose, hot and spicy thing, that means you are a great sattvic person. It doesn't mean at all. Not necessarily. Swamiji like person, he is Sri Ramakrishna says Sakshat Narayana. There is so much sattva. When he saw Purna, Swami says, after Naren, if I see someone that richness of sattva, it is Purna. So you can imagine how sattvika this person is, Swamiji is, and his diet, if you have read, he was great savourer of the, hot and spicy thing. Other people would not be able, that was, how can you tell this thing? So taking only sipping milk and honey doesn't make you sattvic. Should be understood. So here Bhagavan says wonderful things. What does this idea means? Mam chaivanto sharirastam. That he not only inflicts that pain on his own body, but also inflicts me. Meaning that when sattvika person is doing tapasya, when he is doing this austerity, it is with all his pleasantry, all pleasing. Though he is fasting, suppose, but he is fasting with this divine remembrance, contemplation, and he doesn't feel that, that he is unnecessarily torturing his person. He finds it nice, he finds it comfortable that he is fasting. It suits to his soul. Rajasic person, if he goes on fasting, he would be continually thinking of when that time it will tick 12 o'clock. There was one person, neighbor, to my aunt's house. Sometimes he used to do some kind of ekadashi or like that, and 12 o'clock he used to call his wife, go and make some food for him. So that would be a Rajasika person. Tamasika person, he is fully convinced, more robust than the Sattva and Rajasika person. But not only he is also feeling pain, his body is feeling pain, that he himself, there is, but just by the force of sheerly, that he will say that I might lose my control, tie my hands, and take away the keys, otherwise I will start really because I have to do this fast. This would be kind of person tamasika. So karshayanta sharirastham bhutagramam achetasam. Bhutagramam sharirastham bhutagramam. So all these elements which are there in the body. So everything, your mind, your pitta, your different rasas, your pranas, they are all made up of different elements. These 5 elements, Panchamahabhuta. So they are called Bhutagramam because they are the aggregation of the different bhutas. Because through the Panchakarana, when the different bhutas mix, then only these different forms of different substances they are created. And this is your own body or all your bodily functions. They have nothing but this obstinacy. So this is what these people do. And this is, one says, they are asura nishaya. So sattva has, people have the confusion. These people, asura, also have this kind of confusion. Totally the wrong direction. So this is, Bhagavan says, now he is going for the different, how Shraddha is different way it expresses. So now the discussions on various ways how, because the Krishna, this Arjuna has asked that Nishtha, these people who are only having Shraddha and they are worshipping. So what their Nishtha will be called, whether it would be called as Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. So now Bhagavan is saying that Shraddha is important. Shraddha makes the person, and as is the Shraddha, the individual, so is the person, and how that now Shraddha is expressing in various ways. That's why this chapter is called as Shraddha Praya Vivaha Yoga. This is our teacher. So from this next verse onward, we will next Sunday, of course, there is no class because there is a spiritual retreat, annual celebration. So you are all welcome to take the benefit of these beautiful events. All the head Swamijis of centers in Maharashtra, they would be coming. Of course, while President Maharaj is coming, so there would be great joy, festivities and celebration. This is also, we have in the first time, we have integrated this everything and we are calling it with this name Foundation Day Celebration, because earlier to our centenary celebration we did not know exactly date of the foundation of the ashrama. So later we came to know that it is 19 April 1923, and when we checked in the calendar, that day was Akshaya Tritiya. So from this is the first time we are celebrating it after our centenary celebration 2 years. This is the first time we are celebrating our foundation day of Akshaya Tritiya day. There on that day special Durga Saptashati or Chandi Homa would be there near temple, and of course this annual day 25th, that is Friday evening. So and Saturday whole day, that will be annual day. So first day 25th evening there will be Sri Ramakrishna day, and 26th morning session it will be Sri Sarada Devi day. 26th afternoon session will be Swami Vivekananda day. President Maharaj will be speaking on the first day 25th evening. 26th evening he would be there for pranam and unveil a book. Here 27th he would be there. Throughout day there would be spiritual retreat. 28 and 29 there is of course spiritual initiation Diksha program. Evening there would be only program. That much. So you are all welcome to join. Also, I wanted to tell you all that here Vivekananda Study Circle of Ramakrishna Mission Mumbai has started one nice initiative. It is called Vivekananda Reading Forum. It is online on Google Meet. So the people who are following our WhatsApp channel of Ramakrishna Mission Mumbai, they might have seen the post about it. You can join that. 10 to 10:30 p.m. it is open to everyone online from your home, and 3 different kinds of books they are read from Monday to Saturday. So we are that initiative started keeping in mind to revive the habit of reading. That society should read by themselves. They should read. This reading habit must be revived in the society. To start this movement in our small way, we have initiated this effort called Vivekananda Reading Forum, that it is at night 10 to 10:30. From your phone you can join. You get to know about it. Different books, not only spiritual books, but books from across the categories like mind, matter and spirit. So spiritual books on sciences, history, economics, psychology, cognitive studies, etc., etc. So all kinds of books, the books which are generally recommended by the senior Swamis of the Ramakrishna Mission, such books are chosen for the benefit of all. And these books, we believe that every normal individual must have read and worked. So humble appeal to you all to join this Vivekananda Reading Forum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.